Hello and welcome once again for Principle of Economics. This is third video. I am Belay. In the previous, we have discussed different issues. For example, we have seen about scarcity, and then scarcity applies for choice, and because of choice, we sacrifice some other alternative, which is known as opportunity cost. And also because of all of this, we come to production possibility frontier or production possibility curve. Then we have to define what is production possibility frontier or curves and how can we use today. We are going to see the relationship between economic growth and the production possibility curve. Economic growth or an increasing in the total output level occur when one or both of the following conditions occur. The first one is increasing in quantity or quality of economic resource can increase our economic output or our economic growth. That means we can go above the production possibility frontier, the old production possibility frontier, if we have large quantity or quality as we have before, that we have not before. Because of this, economic growth increase. The next one is advance in technology. If we increase the technology or we invent technology, our economic growth is increase. So the original production possibility frontier because of advances in technology increased or outward shifts. Economic growth is represented by outward shifts of production possibility frontier and production possibility frontier or curve. We can show economic growth by outward shift of the PPF or production possibility frontier. For example, let us see this figure 1.2 economic growth with a new production possibility frontier. The old one is the first one, the second one shifts out, that is new production possibility frontier. This is maybe because of quality or quantity or because of technological advancements that both food and computer outputs increase, and it's shown by outward shifts of our production possibility frontier curves. An economy can grow because of an increasing in productivity in one sector of the economy. Maybe the productivity of one sector may increase. For example, food may increase, the productivity of food may increase, or productivity of computer may increase because of reason we have stated above. If it is applied to only one economy, we can show by the following graph. An improvement in technology applied to either food or computer will be illustrated by shift of production possibility along the y-axis or x-axis. This is called asymmetric growth. Change it. Look. Improvement in technology applied to either food or computer. For the first time, we have to increase our improvements on our food. Our food is improved by adding technology or other inputs or quantity or quality over food production. Our food production increase, but computer production is constant. Or when we come to the second graph, when our computer production or improvement in technology applied to our computer part shifts outward and the food is constant. That's why I show by red, which is not increased. I show by green, which shows improvements. So on the first one, food is green and as it is outshift. This outshift is because of improvement in technology applied for food production, and so the output is increased. And the second, on the computer, we can add improvement in technology. And after we applied improvement in technology, our computer part output increase, but food is constant. This is called as asymmetric economic growth. This is one side economic growth. It is not both sides. If that is all or two of them, improvement in technology is applied in two of the food and the computer, both of them shifts outward. This is known as symmetric um, production of goods or outputs. As we know, asymmetric for information is not disclosed for all people. For economic growth, asymmetric means it is one output is increased because of improvement in technology or by improvement of quantity or quality over this. Asymmetric for information and symmetric for information. If information is symmetric, for example, in taking in information is distributed fairly for all of them, all of the society. Also, when we come to our economic growth, if our economic growth shifts outward in one side, that is asymmetric. If our economy shifts out, our economic output shift in both sides, it is symmetric economic growth. That is uniformly increase of our economic growth. When we come to the basic economic question, economic problem faced by an economic system due to scarcity of resources are known as basic economic problem. These problems are common to all economic systems, not only Africa, not only other continents. The whole continent has this basic economic problem. There are also known as central problem of an economy. Therefore, any human society should answer the following three basic questions. The first question is what to produce. Before producing our output, we have to ask ourselves what to produce. This problem is also known as the problem of allocation of resource. It implies that every economy must decide which goods and in what quantity are to be produced. Which good is needed in what quantity should also determined. The economy must make choice such as consumption goods or capital goods. Which one is best? Civil goods or military goods? Which one is preferable? Which one is needed at this time? Necessity good versus luxury goods. By observing our situation, we have to choice or we have to answer what to produce. Otherwise, we are not efficient, rather, we are inefficient since the resource is scarce. The other question also when we say under this question what to produce, as an economic resource are limited, we must reduce the production of one type of good if we want more of another type. So we have to choose. As we said, we have to choose which one is best because of scarcity. We have discussed in previous video that scarcity implies choice, and because of choice we are forced for opportunity cost or opportunity lost. Generally, the final choice of any economy is combination of the various types of goods, but the exact nature of the combination depends upon the specific circumstance and objective of. The other one is how to produce. This problem is also known as problem of choice of technique. How to produce. By using what kind of technique can we produce our products? This is once an economy has reached a decision regarding the types of goods to be produced and has determined their respective quantity, the economy must decide how to produce them choosing between alternative methods or technique of production. We have two techniques of production, as you know, that is using of labor or using of machinery, that is capital intensive and labor intensive. Example, cotton clothes can be produced with hand looms, power looms, or automatic looms. Similarly, wheat can be grown with primitive tools and a mainly labor or with modern machinery and a little labor. Broadly speaking, the various techniques of production can be classified into groups as we said, labor-intensive technique, use of more labor relative to capital per unit of outputs, using of totally human beings, and a capital-intensive technique, use of more capital relative to labor per unit of output, for example, using of machinery, such as using of combiner or using of tractors for plowing of the earth, for example, and the using of labor, such as using of oxen for plowing of the earth. This is what is labor-intensive techniques and the capital-intensive technique. We have to answer how to produce, which one is good or bad. The choice between different techniques depends on the available suppliers of different factors of production and their relative price. In Africa, for example, using of labor intensive technique is very best because there is excess labor rather than using capital intensive technique which needs machine. Comparing the price of the capital is higher than the price we incur for labor. Making good choice is essential for making the best possible use of limited. See for whom to produce. We have tried to answer how to produce and also what to produce, and now for whom to produce, who is the user of these products. We have to answer this question too. This problem this problem is a problem of distribution of national product. The economy must decide, example, whether to produce for the benefit of the few rich people or for the large number of poor people. An economy that wants to benefit the maximum number of persons would first try to produce the necessity of the whole population and then to proceed to the production of luxury goods. First, we have to use necessities, basic goods, and then luxury goods. All fundamental economic problems centered around human needs and wants. This human effort results in economic activity that occur with framework of an economic system. Then, what is economic system? The way a society tries to answer the above fundamental question is summarized by the concept known as economic system. We can answer our three questions in using economic system. An economic system is a set of organizational and institutional arrangements established to answer the basic economic question. Customarily, we can identify three types of economic system. Those are capitalism or free market economy, common economy or socialism, and the mixed economy, that is the mixture of both capitalism and the communism or common economy. Capitalist economy. The capitalism is the oldest formal economic system in the world that started at the very top in 19th century. In this economic system, all means of production are privately owned. The production takes place at initiative of individual private entrepreneurs who work mainly for private profit. The motive is a profit under capitalism, or we can call it a free market economy or It is only or privatizations takes place under capital economy. There is a private property. Government intervention in the economy is minimum or few. This system is also called a free market economy or market system or laissez-faire. That is free market economy. Everything is determined by markets, by demand and the supply. What is the features of capitalist economy? The first feature is the right to private property. Privatization of the property is allowed under this capital economy. The right to private property is fundamental feature of the capitalist economy. As part of that principle, economic or productive factors such as land, factories, machineries, mines, etc. are under private ownership. The other characteristic or features of capitalist economy is freedom of choice by consumers. You can buy if you need. The choice is depending on the consumer's interests. This is known as the principle of consumer sovereignty. So there is a freedom to choice since it is free market economy. The other features of capitalist economy is profits motive. The motivation behind is profits. Entrepreneurs in their productive activity are guided by the motive of profit making. Competition. In capitalist economy, competition exists among seller or producer. They are competing each other. Price mechanism. All basic economic problems are solved through the price mechanism. The demand and the supply can determine the price of the products because it is free market economy. Minor role of governments. The government does not interfere in day-to-day economic activities in the confines or limited to itself to the defense and the maintenance of law and order. Self-interest. Each individual is guided by self-interest and motivated by desire for economic gain. This is the feature of capitalist economy. The other is inequality of income. There is a wide economic gap between the rich and the poor because a person who has capital before or money before become rich and the poor and the rich gap is increasing from time to time. Existence of negative externality. Negative externality is a harm, cost, or inconvenience suffered by the third party because of action by others. These negative externalities, for example, if a rich person has factory and uh, the factory pollutes the environment and an individual or society that live around can be affected. The respiratory system can be affected. This is negative externality of capitalist economy. In capitalist economy, decision of the farm may result in negative externality against another farm or society in general. Then, what is the advantage of having capitalist economy for one country? Look, there is a flexibility or adaptability. It successfully adapts itself to changing environments. Decentralization of economic power. Market mechanism work as decentralizing force against the concentration of economic power. The price is determined by supplies in demand supply, and so there is a decentralization. Increase in per capita income and the standard of living. Rapid growth in level of production and income leads to higher per capita income and standard of living. All societies, all producers are motivated because it is free, rather there is a competition. That is very nice for competing each other. Then during that competition, per capita income is increased and also living standard is increased. Motivation for economic growth is nice or good. New types of consumer goods. Variety of new consumer goods are developed and are produced at large scale. because there is a competition, producer try to produce new products to compete with another person. Growth of entrepreneurship. Profit motive creates and support new entrepreneur skill in the approach. So this leads to growth of entrepreneurship. Optimum utilization of productive resource. Full utilization of productive resources are possible due to innovation in the technological progress in the high rate of capital formation. If there is a competition, the whole producer try to invent or try to have new ideas, and then they can use their production resource fully. Let us see disadvantage of capitalist economy. The first one is inequality of income. As we said, the poor is poor, the rich become rich. So there is a gap in between. So this is income inequalities. The other is unbalanced economic activity. As there is no check on the economic system, the economy can develop in unbalanced way in terms of different geographic region and different section of the society. Exploitations of labor in capitalist economy, exploitation of labor such as overutilization of labor happens or occurs. The other, as we said, is negative externalities. Let us come to command or socialist economy. Under this economic system, the economic institutions that are engaged in production and the distribution are owned and controlled by the states. Command or socialist economy. Everything is under the control of central governments. In the recent past, socialist has lost its popularity, and most of the socialist countries are trying free market economy. The main feature of command economy. The first feature of command economy is collective ownership. The ownership is for all. The whole of the society is the ownership of the production or the property. This is socialism feature. The other is central economy planning. The planning is from the central governments. The other is strong government role. Government has complete control over the economic activity. The other, maximum social welfare. Command economy aims at maximizing social welfare, not profits. Does not allow the exploitation of labor, for example. All of the society or producer produce the same by the same power. Relative equality of income. Income is equally distributed because everything is controlled by central party or central governments. So the property is common property. There is no labor exploitation. There is no motivations. So it is nice for producing of common things. All these factors lead to greater equality in income distribution in comparison with capitalism. Comparing to the capitalism, income equality is in socialism. Advantage of command economy, absence of wasteful competition. There is no place for wasteful use of reproductive resource through unhealthy competition. Balanced economic growth. Allocation of resource through centralized planning leads to balanced economic developments. Elimination of private monopolies and inequalities. Command economy avoids the major evil of capitalism, such as inequality of income and the wages. There is no monopoly. Disadvantage of command economy. Absence of automatic price determination because it's controlled by governments. Absence of incentive for hard work and efficiency. There is no incentive, financial incentive. Lack of economic freedom. There is no economic freedom. Red tape system or excessive bureaucracy because all decisions are made by government officials. So it is very excessive bureaucracies. Let us come to a mixed economy, the third one. It tries to combine the advantage of both capitalist economy and the command economy. Mixed means that is the combination of the command economy in that of free market economy or capital economies, we can take the, the advantage of both capitalism and the socialism parts. Then mixed economy is best. On the world, there is, I hope, mixed economy is large rather than free or capitalism or socialism. It incorporates some of the features of both and allow the private and the public sector to coexist. Main feature of mixed economy: coexistence of public and the private sector, economic welfare, economic planning, price mechanism. This is regulated by the government. Economic planning: the government uses instrument of economic planning to achieve coordinated rapid economic development, making use of both private and the public sector. Economic equality: private property is allowed, but rule exists to prevent concentration of wages. So the government or this mixed economy takes the advantage of capitalists and the advantage of socialists by ignoring disadvantage of both. Advantage of mixed economy: private property, profit motive, and the price mechanism. All advantage of capitalist economy, such as right to private property, motivation through the profit motive, and the control of economic activity through the price mechanism, are available in mixed economy. As we said, in mixed economy, we can take, or we have to take, advantage of capitalists and the advantage of socialist or common economy, and ignoring of disadvantage. That is why mixed economy is best than other separate way of using the system. At the same time, government control ensures that they do not lead to exploitation. Advocate freedom, rapid and planning economic developments, social welfare and fair economic inequalities, all are applied under mixed. Disadvantages of mixed economy: ineffectiveness and inefficiency. The public sector may be inefficient. I said maybe, due to lack of incentive and the responsibilities. And the private sector may be made ineffective by government regulation and the control. This is maybe. If there is a control, if there is no bad control, that is nice. Economic fluctuation. If the private sector is not properly controlled by government, economic fluctuation and employment can be occurred. So this is the issue of controlling. If governments properly apply or control, no problem. Corruption in the black markets increased. If government policy rule and the directives are not effectively implemented, this is known. Corruption in the black market exists if government do not apply its control. If such is not appeared, or if there is appropriate control, there is no corruption in the black market. But because of less control, such is happening in mixed economy. With this, I come to the end of today's program. I thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of today's session, and I hope you found it helpful and that it is informative. If you enjoyed the lesson, don't forget like, subscribe, and share my channel for more content of economy. Next topic, in our upcoming session, we will explore decision-making units in the circular flow model. As I said, this is Introduction to Economics. This is a basic for our advanced macro and the microeconomics. Okay, that's why I try to inform you. Thank you very much. Please comment if there is a problem.